ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Wednesday, September 13th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. We're going to get your text in this hour, 304-396-TALK. That's 304-396-8255. Coming up this hour, I'm going to have a conversation with Ryan Crisp. He is the Associate Athletics Director of Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, Fan Engagement. So, coming on the program as part of that mission of fan engagement, we're going to get into a lot of things. The Virginia Tech game, we've got instructions for you. We're going to tell you where you need to be and what color. If your color is white, you got to wear white. If your color is green, you got to wear green. How do I find my color? Well, Ryan's going to explain those mysteries and more. So we'll talk to him later on in the program. But until then, the text line is yours. And we'll take some questions for Ryan as well. And that's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Baseball action yesterday. The Pirates get the win over the Nationals 5-1. The two teams are going to meet again tonight, 6:10, right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. The Reds got the win over the Tigers in 10 innings, 6-5. Game 2 of that series is going to take place tonight at 6:40. It's going to be in Detroit. Some sad news yesterday. If you're a Marshall fan from years ago, you're going to know the name of Roy Kidd. He is a college football Hall of Famer. He led Eastern Kentucky's football program from 1964 to 2002. He passed away at the age of 91 yesterday. You look at his career. Now, first of all, if you go back a ways, if you're a Herd fan, you know the days when Marshall would face EKU. You know the name well, you know the program. Passing away at 91, he left a legacy that includes 315 victories, making him one of the most successful coaches in NCAA Division I AA history. He was inducted to the College Football Hall of Fame in 2003, and those victories rank second in all-time NCAA Division I AA wins, only behind Eddie Robinson. So Roy Kidd is right there with Eddie Robinson. And if you look at his career closely, EKU, the football program, won 16 Ohio Valley Conference championships and a Grantland Rice Bowl victory. The highlight had to be when the NCAA created Division I AA football in 1978. EKU was able to thrive, got the additional scholarships. That resulted in 2 national championships in 1979 and in 1982. And he's a winner. Maintain a winning team every season following his last national title victory. 18 playoff appearances in total. His teams made postseason appearances in 16 of 17 seasons during one stretch. He's got 124 losses, 315 wins, 124 losses, 8 ties, and his win percentage is 71.4%. Also coached 55 All-Americans, and 41 of his players signed NFL contracts. Now, why am I speaking so highly of Roy Kidd? I mean, his passing is sad to a lot of people. It's because I couldn't stand EKU and Roy Kidd. And I mean that with affection. Because EKU was good, especially during his time. EKU was good. And I remember the swagger that EKU fans had. I went on a road trip when student government offered a bus trip to go to Richmond to go see Marshall at EKU. I think this was maybe 89. This might have been 89. I'll have to double check that. Don't hold me to that. But I do remember the trip. And I get to EKU, and of course this is pre-internet now, mind you. Really, I couldn't Google EKU. And so I got to experience EKU for the first time and the one-sided stadium. And I'm like, oh, hey, this is pretty cool. They got a pretty nice stadium here. And of course, Marshall had Fairfield. And Fairfield was showing its age. So you get to EKU, hey, this is pretty nice. And you get into the stadium, it's like, where's the other half? So that was my first introduction to EKU football. Where's the other half of the football field? Seriously, this is it? Thankfully, they've improved their situation since. But EKU got the better of the Thundering Herd that day, and I became an enemy of EKU because their fans were atrocious. They were throwing pop cups and lids. I was up in the upper echelon of the deck here, and their fans were really nasty. So I became a big-time enemy of EKU football and Roy Kidd. But, again, I say that with love and affection because he had a tremendous career. And the fact that he was a memorable figure and it was always great when the Herd got after EKU, that's something I'm going to remember for a long time to come. Just the fact that those were some great matchups. And that's great. You got a coach that other teams just despise seeing. And, of course, again, in the grand scheme of things, I didn't really hate Roy Kidd. But, boy, I despise seeing his teams. I despise seeing him. I did not want him to win. I didn't care they won 2 1AA national championships. That was then. I don't care. The Herd's going to take care of business. And, of course, for the most part, Marshall took care of me, backed me up on it. And I realized growing older, though, that, Roy Kidd's a pretty good coach. He had some tremendous teams. He did a lot for 1AA football. So, and I haven't even gone through, like, half the highlights of his career. I mean, he was even a quarterback at EKU. He was a high school coach. He was a college assistant at Morehead State at EKU. He was also a president of the American Football Coaches Association. Received a lot of honors. He was even named NCAA Division I AA National Coach of the Year twice. And he won OVC Coach of the Year 10 times. Won the American, or was honored. He didn't win it, but he was honored with the American Football Coaches Association's Amos Alonzo Stagg Award for outstanding contributions to football. And, of course, you can't forget his name because the football stadium is named after him. It's Roy Kidd Stadium. It's Roy Kidd Stadium. You have Roy and Sue Kidd Way, and then you have the Roy Kidd Award for Kentucky's best high school football player. So now he's no longer with us. He lived to a very, very long age of 91. And I hate to see him go. I love seeing, even though I despised him, I love seeing him come because that was the fun of it. I could really get my teeth into, hey, name a Marshall rival. For me at the time, hey, they're not in the same conference, but, man, I can't stand when Roy Kidd brings his team to Huntington or Marshall's got to go play Roy Kidd's team. Roy Kidd, a tremendous, tremendous positive influence on college football, passing away at the age of 91. What a remarkable career. And I can say this with fondness. Thanks, Coach, for letting me despise you. It was all out of affection because you were a tremendous coach, and I think you had a tremendous impact on football. It was fun to see the Herd beat your team. And I'm sure you would not have it any other way. It was fun when EKU came to town because that meant something. EKU and me, that was an opponent that meant something when Marshall faced them. Roy Kidd passing away at the age of 91. We'll take your text, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. More coming up on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 at AM 930.
Hey, Tri-State. Frank's Place, formerly Sinners in Saints Bar, is under new ownership. Stop on by and check out Happy Hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and other daily specials. If you're a sports fan, they have what you need coming up from the NCAA tournament, Major League Baseball to the XFL. And listen up. If you're a first responder, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home. Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with kids, finances, insurance, and life? Well, let your State Farm agent help you simplify and get to a better state. With State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% and help you get ahead. Call an agent today and get to a better state with State Farm. In Huntington, Jeff Smith, 304-781-1234. In Milton, Eric Dodson, 304-390-4515. And in Wayne, Vicky Tabor, 304-272-5149.
The Bengals home opener kicks off Sunday, September 17th at 1 p.m. when Joe Burrow and the Bengals take on our AFC North divisional rival, the Baltimore Ravens, in Paycor Stadium.
The jungle will be rocking as the Bengals' high-powered offense and unyielding defense take the field.
A limited number of Bengals-Ravens tickets are available. For tickets, go to Bengals.com now and rule the jungle with us. The Bengals-Ravens game is presented by Paycor.
Don't miss out on the second annual DJ Sounds Good Music Festival with Rich Homie Quan and many more. September 16th.
Hey, what is doing? You already know it's the homie. Iverson, Ohio, and surrounding areas. I will be there September 16th. I'll be live in concert at the Sounds Good Music Festival on the Ohio Riverbank. You know what I'm saying? Get your tickets now and meet me up there. We're going all the way up. Let's go.
Music starts at 4 p.m. Food and vendors will be there. Get your tickets online at richhomie.eventbrite.com or stop in Granny's in Ironton.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, and baked lasagna. Giovanni's has the best sandwiches around, from the stromboli, Italian sub, calzones, and their signature Big Red. All dinners will be served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's Pizza, fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Imagine being denied an apartment because of your religion, or your race, or because you have children, or a disability.
It's so wrong. Yes, but who has the power to stop this?
You do. Each of us has the power. The law is on your side. It's illegal for landlords to discriminate because of race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, or familial status. If you suspect that you have experienced housing discrimination, file a complaint with HUD immediately so we can investigate it. Fair housing is your right.
Use it.
To learn more, visit hud.gov/fairhousing. That's hud.gov/fairhousing. Or call 1-800-669-9777. 1-800-669-9777. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Hey, is that a faucet running?
Nope, that's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest.
It is?
Yeah, forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink. The water comes straight from the forest to us. In fact...
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
How do trees clean the air?
They soak up the dirty air on their leaves, branches, and trunks, which means clean air for us.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Yep, but the forest does more than give us clean air and water. It gives us shade for hot days, birds to listen to, and trees to climb.
Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know how cool the forest could be. Hey, let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I went back and looked. I was talking about Roy Kidd earlier. I took that road trip. It was a bus, I believe, sponsored by student government at Marshall University. That was cool, by the way. Take the bus and travel up, go see the herd on the road. And it was 1989. It was Saturday, October 21st, 1989. The herd lost 38-23. And then the following year, Marshall would play host to EKU on November 10th of 1990. and Marshall would lose that one 15-12, and then after that, Herd would not lose. I have not seen the Herd lose since. So I just want to go back and look at that history real quick. Saturday, December 14th. You know what a December 14th game means. You know what that means. That means playoffs, and Marshall won that one. Saturday, November 29th, 1992, 44-10. I remember that one well. That was a great win. And then, of course, 2018, it was a close one, 32-16. And then 2020, Marshall would whip up on EKU 59-0. But, yeah, that was a fun series. That was definitely a fun series. Marshall has the overall lead 12-8 and won the last 4. So that's the EKU series. And again, our best wishes to the fans and friends and family of former EKU coach Roy Kidd, who passed away. Definitely loved that rivalry. Definitely loved seeing I'm going to qualify that. I'd love to see him because I despise seeing him. Hated seeing him. And it really is out of affection here. As I mentioned, our text line is open. I'll give it to you one more time if you just joined us. That's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Been looking through some numbers, kind of doing the old, how's college football reacting to the new rules? Well, through week 2, and again, we've only got a couple of weeks data here, but through week 2, FBS games this season are averaging 3 hours and 30 minutes, which is on track to be longer than last season. I wonder how much the rain delays of a few games have impacted that number. But I didn't feel like the game, at least the game time, had really changed. And part of it is, even though you're getting less plays in, television isn't going anywhere. Television's not taking quicker breaks or less inventory on their broadcast. No, I almost feel like we've got more inventory on the broadcast. And speaking of plays, FBS teams are averaging 67.3 plays per game in 2023, down from 68.7 in 2022, and the lowest since 2006 when teams averaged, are you ready for this, 64 plays. Now, in 2006, college football started the game clock on the spot after a change possession and when the ball was kicked on kickoffs. This led to what was a significant drop in plays per game, and then the rule was later repealed. In 2007, plays per game increased to 71.9. So now we are down to 67.3 plays per game. That is down from 68.7. Some teams, your mileage may vary as far as the play count is concerned. We'll kind of keep an eye on this. I know week 1, it was sort of a down play count for her. Week 2, I think it was up. Off week, of course, doesn't factor into it. Speaking of the Herd, let's talk a little soccer while we are waiting to talk to again, one of the longest titles at Marshall University, the Associate Athletics Director of Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement, Ryan Crisp. He's got a lot to talk about. I'm sure he'll want to talk about soccer because the Marshall men's soccer team, number 2 ranked men's soccer team, 5-0 victory over Cleveland State on Tuesday out of the Horizon. Marco Silva secured 2 goals while Matthew Bell contributed with 1 goal and an assist. And the Thundering Herd gets the victory. I mean, Bell's been pretty strong. He has been consistent, continued his point streak to 3 games. He has contributed in 5 of the team's 6 matches. And Marco Silva, leading the Sun Belt in goals with 7 this season. 1 of those assisted on by Bell in this match. So they're working well. And you didn't know if this was going to be the result of this match yesterday because the first half there was limited action. Really, it was, okay, the Herd finally got it turned on in the second half. So we'll definitely talk about that, I'm sure, with Ryan Crisp here in a few minutes when we bring him on the program. The number 2 Marshall Thundering Herd will embark on Sun Belt Conference play for the first time this season, facing number 9 James Madison. That is going to be Saturday, 7 p.m., in Harrisonburg, Virginia, for those of you. you don't have a football game to go to this Saturday. Maybe you make the road trip to Harrisonburg, Virginia, to support the Herd. Just a suggestion there. Staying with Marshall for just a minute. Marshall baseball fall schedule is out. October 14th, the Herd's going to kick off the fall season on the road against the Ohio Bobcats in Athens. Don't have a time for that one yet. And then on October 15th, Marshall's home game at the Kennedy Center in Huntington. They'll be facing off against the Toronto Mets. That is an 18U Canadian travel baseball team. An 18U Canadian travel baseball team. A couple of players of note there that have come from that program. Ryan Capano and catcher Ryan Leach have come from this program. So, not bad. Not a bad program all around. So, Marshall taking on the Canadian travel baseball team. This is fall ball. And I know we're all excited. I drove by it this morning. Got an eye of how the stadium's looking. Got an eye of how softball's looking with the lights, right? That always coming up. That's going to be exciting. We're going to have softball with lights. We're going to have baseball with lights. We're going to have a lot of baseball and softball action over there near Marshall here soon. So all of that looked like it was shaping up. And so that's some of the stuff we'll talk about with Ryan Crisp coming up here in the next few minutes. But I want to make time for you. Our text line is open, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We'll get into a few things. We also got the Marshall Cross Country event coming up, Thundering Herd Invitational. So I know we're going to really get into that with Ryan. We might even talk about the tennis schedule. It's out. Marshall's tennis schedule is out, including 13 home matches. The fall highlights include the Thunder in the Mountains tournament that is co-hosted with West Virginia and Charleston. And there are several ITF events in various locations, including Hilton Head, South Carolina. They're also going to be in Statesboro and a few other places. So they've got a pretty busy fall highlighted schedule. Should be fun. We'll get into spring as well. Spring, they've got some good matches. WVU, Louisville, Virginia Tech, James Madison. They're on the road against Northwestern, Maryland, Virginia, just to name a few. So they got a pretty good schedule. I'm sure we'll get into some of that with Ryan Crisp, and we'll save that for when we continue. But keep the text line open at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We'll talk to Ryan when we continue with this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Here's another Kindred Community Chatter. It's coming. Isaac Walton Lake's annual Haunted Trail, Horror in the Holler, every Friday and Saturday in October, 7 to 9 p.m., 554 Township Highway 140 East, Pedro, Ohio. Concessions will be available for purchase. This Kindred Community Chatter is brought to you by TikTok Tire, 3rd Avenue across from the Joan C. Edwards Stadium. Online at tiktoktire.net. Also, the Working Man Store, your big and tall men's store, 140 4th Avenue in Huntington for over 40 years.
BOGO Wing Blitz!
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm practicing my order for the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. BOGO Wing Blitz!
What's a BOGO Wing Blitz?
It's the best play in college football, baby!
Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe College Game Day BOGO Wing Blitz. Every college football game day, buy one jumbo traditional wing and get one free. Plus $3 domestic tall drafts.
BOGO Wing Blitz! Say what?
At the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe on the corner of Fun and 3rd Avenue in downtown Huntington.
It's Barbersville Fall Fest 2023, Wednesday, September 27th through Saturday, September 30th, with carnival rides Wednesday through Saturday and the parade on Thursday. Friday night, September 29th, it's live music with Burning Ridge and Madhouse. And then Saturday, September 30th, the Village of Barbersville welcomes Chris Cagle. Plus arts and crafts, the car show, and so much more. Fall Fest 2023 in the Village of Barbersville, September 27th through the 30th.
Introducing In Your Business, a podcast highlighting thriving Huntington area businesses. Presented by Moses Auto Mall. Online at mosesmeansmore.com. In Your Business tells the story of Huntington successes and where you can gain invaluable insights and advice from seasoned entrepreneurs. Produced by Kindred Communications and the Huntington Regional Chamber of Commerce. Find it on kindredcom.net, huntingtonchamber.org, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Wednesday edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. It's time to welcome to the program. He is the Associate Athletics Director, Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, Fan Engagement. Thus, his mission is to be on the radio with me to engage you. He is Ryan Crisp. How you doing, Crispy?
I am great. How are you, Mr. Swann?
I'm well. I'm glad we're doing this because we got a lot to get into, and I'm sure there are a lot of things that fans need to know, not only for this upcoming weekend, but for next weekend as well. You want to tackle cross country first, since that's almost right in front of us here, coming up on the 15th?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously cross country home on Friday, their first home cross country meet since I can remember. I don't recall the last one. I know it's been years and years and years. Out at the Kennedy Center on Route 2. They got two different groups running. The men are running at 5:15, and then the women run at 6:30. There's a lot longer than I can run. I think it's a 5K and an 8K or something like that. But just come out and support cross country teams. Obviously, they only get one meet a year, and so head out to the Kennedy Center. We're gonna have a food truck. They're gonna be running, and our cross country teams are going to be really, really successful this year. They were picked second and third in the Sun Belt preseason polls, and the Virginia Tech meet they were just at, they dominated. And so come out to the Kennedy Center on Friday and support them.
1989 was the last time, 1989. Where were you even at in 1989?
I don't want to embarrass you, Paul, but I wasn't alive in 1989.
I didn't think so. I didn't think so. I was graduating high school. 88, 89 was my senior year there. So class of 89.
Good old 33 years ago. There you go.
Right. And now look how far Marshall has come. Now we finally have a cross country event. Yeah, if this is successful, this isn't going to be a one-off. We're looking at doing this more than just once.
Oh yeah, it'll be a yearly thing. We have a great relationship with the Kennedy Center and the YMCA, and we're thankful that we're able to come out to their facility and host this thing. And I think this is just the beginning of what we will do with our cross country programs. And obviously we built the indoor track 8 years ago to help our track program, but little teaser, I don't think we're done with their facilities yet, and there's more to come with them as well, and grow those programs as much as possible.
Okay, so you heard it here first. There'll be expansion of the indoor facility. Details to follow later. You're quiet on that. That's wise.
I plead the fifth.
You've learned. The athletic department has learned quickly how easy I can pry this information out of you guys. But this is going to be fun. I mean, Marshall's going to be a part of it, and Davis and Elkins is going to be part of it, Fairmount State, Glenville State, Morehead State, West Virginia Tech. So, there's going to be a lot of programs, and a lot of these are going to be local. So there should be a lot of support for this event, and the food truck, everything. It's going to be a big deal. It's not just, hey, we're having a meet. I like it when Marshall has events because you always try to put a little sizzle next to it.
For sure.
So it's not this weekend. We have a week to – maybe we should do a dress rehearsal on Saturday. I don't know. But we've got Stripe the Joan coming up. That's the game theme for the Virginia Tech game. And there's going to be a lot of, confusion maybe from fans that don't know if they need to wear green, they need to wear white. How are you tackling all of that, making sure everyone's got the right color?
For sure. So obviously the game is sold out. It is the noon kick. I hope everyone saw that. The game will be kicked off at noon. Great exposure for us on ESPN2, a national televised game. As far as the colors and what shirt to wear, we will not be providing shirts to fans at the stadium. So just FYI, you will need to bring, wear your shirt, whatever shirt you're supposed to wear. With the game being sold out, everyone has their tickets. They know what section they're going to be in. If you go to our social medias at Herd Zone, at Herd Football, or go to herdzone.com, everything is listed out there for you. We also have 4 big old posters. They're actually 6 feet tall. We got 1 at Glenn's. We got 2 at the local bookstore on campus, and we're taking 1 to Walmart that are displayed in those stores. So if you're at one of those stores and you're not sure what color you're supposed to have, as long as you know what section you're in, you can look at the big poster and see what color you're supposed to have. And it's just going to be a really exciting day. We did the Thunder Walk and we did the Fan Fest for Albany game, and it was an absolute hit. The Thunder Walk, it was by far the most people I've ever seen there. And so we're bringing the golden ticket back where one lucky kid will get to be the kickoff kid to get the kickoff tee. And, we're trying to find ways to wake people up that morning. I know it's early. It'll be a 9:30 Thunder Walk, but we're hoping to get some donuts out there, get some coffee out there, and get some energy flowing early for the Virginia Tech game.
Okay. Donuts, coffee, Herd fans. It'll be a bright and early Thunder Walk, striping the Joan. We got a week to get ready, a week and a few days. This will probably be an exciting electric atmosphere. And I know there's some stuff we'll get into about the game next week. There's always a buzz when it's Marshall, Virginia Tech. I know they're not traditional rivals, but this is still a pretty big deal.
It is for sure. I mean, it's big for our fan base. With the world, the way college football is evolving, this may be the last time we're able to get a Power 5 team in our venue in a long time. So take advantage of it. Come out. Even if you don't have a ticket to the game, come out to the atmosphere. Come to Fan Fest. Come to Thunder Walk. Hang out at the tailgate. And as always, we do have a partnership with SeatGeek now. That's a nationwide partnership with our ticketing service, where they are verified tickets through SeatGeek. So if you go onto SeatGeek, every ticket you see on there for sale is for sale by one of our season ticket holders, and it is verified through SeatGeek. So, if you don't have a ticket to the game yet, that's your option, and it will be a guaranteed seat in the game.
All right, Virginia Tech game coming up next week, striping the Joan. So hopefully you have paid attention to everything that the athletic department has sent you. If you've got your ticket, you should know your color. And, of course, if you don't have something green or white, I don't know what to do for you, Ryan. I don't know. I don't know what to do. There's always the on-site team store, right?
That's right, and they will have the poster in the on-site team store. I think they're going to open up at 9:00 that morning, so you'll be able to find out that morning exactly what color you need to be in and get your shirt from the team store.
Pretty busy night yesterday. Soccer getting a big win, 5-0 over Cleveland State. It looked like it was going to be a close one for a while. Then Chris Grassi decided, nah, I'm done. And the team just went off on Cleveland State. How exciting has this been for the athletic department to see the success of the men's team? We kind of expect that, but we're still surprised and excited by it. And then we see how far the women's program has come under Coach Paul Swann. A lot of improvement with his squad. They lose a tough one to Liberty, but Liberty's pretty good, and they've had a good run so far.
Yeah, we won a national championship in soccer a couple years ago, in men's soccer a couple years ago. But still, every time I think about our men's program, I still, as myself, who works in that department, am surprised and shocked. And to think we literally have the number 2 team in the country in Huntington, West Virginia. The Sun Belt has 4 top 25 teams. The state of West Virginia has 2 top 5 teams. And that's just incredible to think about. The atmosphere is always electric down at Hoops Family Field. They have a great, great fan base, a great core of season ticket holders that have been with them since the beginning. And so it's just incredible atmosphere down there. The next time the men are home, or actually the same day as Virginia Tech, they're on the road this Saturday at JMU, which is a top 10 matchup. Then they're back home on the 23rd of September. They play UCF, which will be a top 10, possibly top 5 matchup on that day. And it's after the football game. It's at 7:15. And I would highly, highly suggest logging on to Herd Zone and getting your tickets for that game now, because I am very confident we will sell that game out in advance. with the football game being that day and just their success overall.
Okay, you're going to have coffee and donuts for the football game. It's going to be a little late for some of the Herd fans, so more coffee? What are we serving up for the soccer match?
We discussed that, and we threw out some things. I think a thing that maybe some of our Herd fans may need would be like those liquid IVs or some hydration, some Gatorade maybe, something to get them rehydrated back for the game. But that may have to be on you. You may have to be prepared for that in your cars in between games to make sure you have your hydration and get ready for the soccer game.
If your boss would have listened to my suggestion, he was all about Herd country, and I'm sitting here thinking, you need some sort of energy drink to go along with that, Mr. Spears. If I'm just saying, Ryan, you have a couple weeks to work on that.
Listen, I'm all in on that. We got to find the right partner, but I'm ready for it. Let's do it.
Does that even come up? Do they go, is he still talking about that? Does that ever come up in a meeting like, please, will he stop?
Well, your name does come up in meetings sometimes, and every time it's very positive.
I hope so. Man, I can imagine. Like, will he please just stop? Can we have enough? Can we just have him stop now? I'm sure that's come up a lot of times, but
listen,
no.
I know this is recording, but I'll deny this. But most of your ideas are good, Paul. I know that's shocking to some people, but most of your ideas are good.
Why is that shocking to some people? I mean,
why
is that shocking? Come on.
It's just, lots of people, it's hard to come up with lots of good ideas, but somehow you seem to find a way to have some pretty good ideas coming out of you.
I have to cover an hour of airtime every day. Every day. And some days the show writes itself, and other days, let me tell you, I am digging deep. So, I have to keep churning this stuff out here, Ryan. That's why it works this way. So
right.
Hopefully the energy drink will happen, but there's a lot of good things happening with soccer, and then we get into basketball. Hoops in Huntington. That is getting closer than we realize. That's going to be right around the corner here. What can we talk about with Hoops in Huntington? What can you unveil? What secrets do you have for me?
For sure. So Hoops in Huntington, the 28th, the Thursday before homecoming. It's back at Pullman Square, downtown Huntington. It's part of homecoming week this year, which is a pretty cool deal. The university incorporated into their homecoming week. Starts at 6 o'clock. And at 6 o'clock we'll have where the kids can come on the court and play knockout with our players. There'll be autographs. There'll be inflatables. There'll be face painting. There'll be all the good stuff that you come to expect when you come to a Marshall Athletics event. And then at 7 o'clock is when we introduce the teams and get the contest rolling with the skills contest, the three-point shootout, the dunk contest, and all that good stuff. So we're just excited to introduce our new squads. And, last year the event was super cool. I think a lot of people were a little scared of what to expect. And you're going to play basketball outside. It's going to be cold. What are you doing? And it turned out to be one of my favorite events of the year. And we're looking to grow on that. And it's a super, super cool deal. And we're excited to not only have our basketball teams down there, but also swim and dive is going to come down. And hopefully we'll get a dunk tank arranged, and they'll be out there as well.
Seriously, you're going to do a dunk tank?
Yeah, and you're going to be on it. We're going to dunk you.
No, because I know where you're going with this, because that wouldn't have to result in a donation.
That's correct.
A very substantial donation, I would think.
No, we want to do a dunk tank. We want to incorporate our swim and dive team and give them some the same exposure, and so hopefully we can have it down there, and you'll have a chance to dunk one of our athletes. So we're excited.
Okay, I like the idea though. We'll negotiate the price later on me being on that dunk tank here.
There you go.
You know what? We can make a lot of money maybe with that. Just a few dollars, I think. Just a few.
Just a couple.
Just a couple there. Ryan Crispus with me. He's the Associate Athletic Director of Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and, of course, fan engagement. All three very important jobs, but the fan engagement one, I'm sure, his most enjoyable, because it's an opportunity to engage with the fans, and that's what really all of this is about. And we've got some big things happening here with the Herd. Again, I've talked to a few people. This is all anecdotal, but they continue to be just amazed at how things are moving at such a pace. Baseball, I drove by the stadium today on my way back from something, and it's looking great. And then I spied some lights over at the softball field. Did I spy those being up ready?
You sure did. Yeah, baseball and softball lights are both in and ready, and they got some pretty unique and cool features that'll make my job a heck of a lot easier. So we're excited to put those to work. And no, we're gonna have night games. It's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be the complex as a whole is gonna be completely changed this year, obviously. And that baseball stadium is something that people for a lot longer than I've been around know that, you know, they thought it was never coming. They thought it was never going to be here. And I mean, it's real. It's here. You know, we're kicking off in March and we're going to be playing baseball on campus.
Is there anything you can share now, or you want to sit on that as far as some of the features? Because, you know, when you get new lights, obviously the rage in college athletics is for them to do things and have different colors.
That may be what our lights can do.
Okay. Maybe.
That may be what it is, you know. We'll have to just wait and see.
Okay, we'll find out what the lights can do. But the softball complex as well, I don't know if enough people have really heard about what softball is getting out of this deal, because their facilities are about to improve as well, not just with lights.
No, for sure. Yeah, they're getting a whole new building, which will have indoor batting cages, a little pitching cage, as well as a team room and a film room. Just some more technology for them to use. You know, a lot of today's world of improving is analytics. So the technology that our strength for coaches are using, our athletic trainers are using, and now our teams will be able to use in terms of, you know, stuff way above my head, but, you know, your launch angle's at 36 degrees. If we make your launch angle 37 degrees, your batting average, you know, all that good stuff, they'll be able to utilize all that data in their new building. And the lights itself, the restrooms, the concession stands are going to be used for both facilities. And then just the exposure for both programs to be able to host a game at our complex, you know, whether they're at the same time or they're overlapping by a couple hours or whatever it may be, the complex as a whole is going to be bumping this year.
Ryan Christmas with me, Associate Athletics Director, Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement. Good to talk to you. We'll get you back here soon so we can find out some of the other things. I know you're holding back on me for next week. There's got to be some surprise for the Virginia Tech game.
I guess we'll just have to find out next week.
Okay. I know you're holding back on me, but I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be the hardest ticket to get, Ryan. So if you want to get on SeatGeek, try to find a ticket. That's going to be your best option. Or I'm just pointing this out. I've actually got a few, Ryan. So for the next week, I might be the most popular heard person on social media. I've got tickets that I'm going to give to people. Should be fun.
I love it. We'll make that grade next week then, and you will be a popular guy next week for sure, because it is. We're still getting calls every day in the ticket office about tickets for that game, and you know we sold out a couple weeks at this point now, and so it's gonna be awesome.
And there's no way to open anything else up. You've got every possible seat there. It's spoken for. There's not like it's a hidden corner, a little stash there that you can we can put a few more in. You're out.
Out. I wish there was more, but we are out. That's all we got.
Ryan Crisp, my guest, Associate Athletics Director, Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement. Ryan, as always, thanks for coming on, having some fun with us, and we'll do it again soon.
All right, thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
More coming up on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey, Tri-State. Frank's Place, formerly Sinners in Saints Bar, is under new ownership. Stop on by and check out happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and other daily specials. If you're a sports fan, they have what you need coming up from the NCAA tournament, Major League Baseball to the XFL. And listen up, if you're a first responder, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Check out Working Man's Store in Huntington, the biggest inventory of scrubs in West Virginia, featuring brands such as Medcator, Infinity, Dickies, and Cherokee at the best price. Working Man's Store has one of the largest selections of big and tall shirts, jackets, and jeans in the area. Working Man's Store is the king of blue jeans with Levi's, Dickies, Carhartt, Lee, and Wranglers in sizes up to 72. And Working Man's Store has the best selection of men's work boots and casual shoes anywhere at the best price. Working Man's Store, open every day at 145th Avenue or online online at workingmanstore.com.
You've been on the go all summer, but now things are winding down and your summer adventures are coming to an end. We say don't let them with a $60 rebate on the Uniroyal Laredo family of tires and a $40 tire rebate on all other tire lines. Now is the time to snag a new set before September 28th and start planning your next adventure. Uniroyal all-season adventure starts here. Get details at uniroyaltires.com/promotions. Offer expires 9/28/2023. Void where prohibited. Copyright 2023. M&A Incorporated. All rights reserved. Call TikTok Tire today to take advantage of the savings. TikTok Tire, 2102 3rd Avenue, Huntington.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavallette. We look forward to bringing the residents of Wayne County a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, community involvement, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com. Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
All of us love sports, but not all sports are created equal. College sports have big budgets, dedicated alumni networks, and corporate sponsorships. Professional sports have even deeper pockets, millionaire owners, lucrative TV and radio deals, and merchandise sales. High school sports have you. Everyone agrees high school sports give us plenty of reasons to cheer. And now's a great time for us to give back. Supporting your hometown high school won't cost you much, but it will go a long way to ensuring the games we love the most are here to stay. West Virginia high school sports. They're good for our kids, good for our community, and best of all, they're good for you.
This message presented by the West Virginia Secondary School Activities Commission and the West Virginia Athletic Directors Association.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
It's our final segment of today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line is always open during the show. It's 304-396-TALK. That's 304-396-8255. One final football note today. Did you know the Sun Belt is basically the best non-autonomy conference as far as winning percentage? 654. 654. That is the best in the non-autonomy leagues. That's pretty good. And if the Thundering Herd can get a couple more big wins, that's going to even help more as far as the prestige, because getting a win over Virginia Tech, that's going to be good. Getting a win over NC State, that's going to be good for not only the Sun Belt, but for the Thundering Herd, obviously. And the schedule, while the Herd's not on it this weekend, it's a 12-game schedule, 4 matchups with Autonomy 5 foes, 4 meetings with the American, and, believe it or not, we've got a conference battle between James Madison and Troy. So that's a heavyweight showdown right there. That's pretty good. And Marshall, which, by the way, as I mentioned on the bye, maintains the 5th longest active winning streak in the nation at 7 games. 5th longest. Marshall trails only Georgia at 19. Georgia's good. Fresno State at 11. Washington State at 9. And Florida State at 8. So 5th longest active winning streak in the nation at 7 games. So that's pretty good. So a couple of notes coming out of the Sun Belt today. And, of course, I love what the league does. The league wants to be the best league it can be. And it has, right now, the ammunition to back it up when it starts shooting these things off. Here's a fun fact for you. If you're not keeping score, somebody is. The Sun Belt owns 17 victories over Autonomy 5 foes over the past 8 seasons, with 12 of 14 conference teams contributing to the tally over that span. The conference has earned, get this, multiple wins over Autonomy 5 opposition in 4 of the past 5 seasons, led by a conference record 4 wins over Autonomy 5 foes in 2019 and in 2022. Pretty good, huh? So Georgia Southern will travel to Wisconsin. That's going to be on the Big Ten Network. Wake Forest will take on Old Dominion. That's going to be on ESPN2. ULM will travel to Texas A&M at 3 p.m. That's going to be on the SEC Network. And then South Alabama will take on Oklahoma State at 6 p.m. And that's going to be on ESPN+. Pretty good, huh? Pretty good. Those, of course, those are Sun Belt Central times. And the Sun Belt actually paces the non-autonomy conference and trails only the Pac-12, Big Ten, SEC, ACC, and Big 12 with that 654 non-conference winning percentage through Week 2 play. That, again, is pretty good. And everyone talks about how good the American is. Well, let's talk about how good the American was. 4 meetings with the American, it was split 2-2. 2-2. Marshall, of course, playing a little role in that 2-2 mark. So they're also, in this upcoming schedule, there are 4 matchups coming up. App State will take on East Carolina. I think App State can beat East Carolina. And then Southern Miss will take on Tulane. I don't think Southern Miss can beat Tulane, so that's going to be a split there. Georgia State could beat Charlotte. So I feel good about that one, actually. Georgia State and Charlotte's coming up. And then Louisiana taking on UAB. I might have to give the edge to UAB there. So, again, it might be a split. So you're battling back and forth. That's your – if you're looking at your short-term gain, you're trying to become better than the American. That's your short term. That's not your ultimate goal. Your short term is to try to become better than the American when it comes to where you stand. And with that said, that's going to do it for this edition of the show. Thanks for tuning in. I want to thank my guests for coming on tonight. It's great to always speak to Ryan Crisp. He is the Associate Athletics Director of Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement at Marshall University. It was good to catch up with him today. We'll do that with him or someone else from the department next week as well. And if you got questions for these administrators or these people in these departments, you can always text those in, and we'll get those answered as much as we possibly can. You can always text in 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255, or you can tag me on Twitter, ask a question, Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it these days, at Paul Swann. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be with you again tomorrow right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Until then, have a great night, everyone.